Is it time, Tara?
I think it's time.
It's time. Let's rock and roll. Welcome, everyone.
Hi, welcome. So this is part 4 of our book gathering. We're super excited to have each and every one of you, whether you're joining us live on Facebook, Instagram, Zoom. We are so privileged that you took the time to come and speak with Dori. So again, we're live in Daytona Beach. You can see the beautiful beach behind us. Nice and sunny today. I'm Tara Lampkin, and I am here with Dori Sukup herself, who is the author of How to Make Millions
That's right.
with Your Medical Spa. This is actually Dori's 3rd book. So if you don't know, she's obviously a published author. She's a global speaker. We rarely get to keep her stationary because she's always speaking so many places.
I am more stationary.
She is. And she's also a 7-figure business advisor. So that really gives her the authority to help each and every one of you in your med spa. So she's here today. We're going to go over part 4 of her book. Get comfortable, relax, get your book, get your questions. If you have questions, put them on your platform that you've joined us live on. And that way we can start asking her the questions and keep going. So yeah. I'm going to pass it over to Dori.
Sounds good. Thank you, Tara.
My pleasure.
Welcome, everyone. We're so excited that you're with us today for another book gathering. We are here in my beach condo. We're still under stay-at-home shelter, even though our governor did give a phase 1 release in Florida. Actually, they're opening the beach tomorrow here. I was just saying, I guess I won't be going down to the beach tomorrow. I'll be watching from my balcony. But I'm super excited. We've been doing this now for how many weeks? 4 weeks? This is our 4th week. And we decided to just keep it going because this is just so much fun to actually pick a book and then talk about it and be able to brainstorm and ask you questions and us giving you the information that you need to help you grow your business. Really, our goal is to provide you with insight, motivate you, inspire you, right? So you can keep going even during this chaos that everybody is actually experiencing. So today we're gonna go over few different chapters. We're going to go over the 3 chapters in part 4, which are first, the high-performing guest relations team that you must have. Chapter number 12 is training and coaching the team, which is one of the most important things really that you can do for your business to succeed. And then chapter 13, which is motivating the team. Those are some of the things that we have going on today. And last week, though, we kind of ran out of time because you guys had so many questions. So we kind of left on the chapter 10, which was how to make your website working for you 24/7. So we're going to take some time answering those questions that we left behind from last week and then catch up. And then we're going to do 1 more week. So next week, we're still going to be going through the book, right? There is a bonus chapter in the back. Especially this will be ideal for anybody who's getting ready to open. So we're going to go over that bonus chapter. And then we're going to answer any other questions from the entire book. So we'll do that next week. And then next week, we're going to announce our winner.
We are.
Super excited about that. But I have to tell you, I'm a little disappointed. It's like I went to Amazon to look at the review, how many people left a review, and they're like, oh, like there's few. What's up? I give you almost a free book. We're here answering questions and helping you. Come on, return the favor. Please go on Amazon or on Google. You have had to have purchased a book on Amazon actually to leave a book on review on Amazon. And that's why we made the book only $1 so you guys can go buy it and be able to leave a review. So be kind, be nice. If you don't mind, go over there and leave us one on how this book has helped you. And we would really appreciate it. But this is why I'm telling you this. Next week, we're going to go into Amazon or Google, wherever you left the review for the book, how to make millions. So what we want to do is go in, get the names out of all the people that actually left reviews, and then we're going to give away one Leap Ahead seat. This is a value of $3,000, you guys. So we'd really love it if you would go and do that, so you have a chance to win a Leap Ahead seat. And then today I'm also going to give away a couple of tools to help you. Since we're going to be talking about the guest relations department, we're going to give away the guest relations program to help you with that. So submit your questions and we're going to pick the best question from today and we're going to give away one of those tools. So go ahead and write them in so we can get to them today.
Also, you all have a poll that's popping up on your screen and we have so many people already answering. So if you'll just take a moment and answer that poll, that'll also give Dori more understanding of who you are and how we can better help in the future.
Sounds good.
With that, I think we'll just start right in chapter 10 where we left off. We had a couple of questions left from that, the website working for you. So we'll wrap up on that. I have a question from Kathy last week, and she asked, can I really make money online?
Yes, for sure. As a matter of fact, right now, being relevant to what's going on, you gotta be online. If you're not online, that means you're not making any money now. So we have actually transformed all of our mastermind members' businesses to online. That's what we've been doing for the past month and a half, is we created all these online revenue streams for them so they can not miss a beat. They're still making money. We have members who are still being profitable. So, and the reason for that is because we're taking things online. So yes, now more than ever, can you really make money online? So you can go and set up a shopping cart if you don't have one already. You can list all your products on there to make sure that people know that you are in the retail business. And then you can also make sure that your website has some other ways to make money. And one way, of course, is gift card sales. That's like the no-brainer of no-brainers.
The easiest one too.
You need to definitely be selling gift cards, especially now with Mother's Day coming up. That's one thing we focused on last week with all of our members, is launching the Mother's Day campaigns so everybody can make money online with Mother's Day promotions. So between doing webinars, which we touched on a little bit the last couple of weeks, reaching hundreds of people. As a matter of fact, I just heard from Brianna, they did their Mother's Day promotions via webinar so people can see all the different options for a gift. So those are all things that you can do that will make a big difference. So between the online shopping cart, doing webinars so you can make offers so people can go to the shopping cart and buy, between doing online consultations, which should be the biggest thing you're doing right now. We touched on that with the We Dare system. That is a brand new system that we just did to help you make money online. And then the last thing is, of course, having the landing page for your membership, which is, again, I was teaching everybody this week how to do a sales landing page. So you can explain your entire VIP program and allow people to actually purchase it from there.
So let me ask you this. Megan had asked, what's the easiest way to set up a membership program if that's what they're going to put into place?
And I have to tell you, right now, more than ever, having a reoccurring revenue model is one of the most important things you can do for your business. And if you don't have a VIP program already, or if you don't have a membership program, that's definitely something that should be part of your revenue streams. And the one main thing I want everybody to take away from this is, right now is the time to actually set a program up. Even if you have one, I just actually revamped the entire membership program. And it's going to be available actually as a product soon, probably in the next week or so. But if you don't spend the time now to create your own VIP program, membership, reoccurring revenue model right now, then come the fall, God forbid if we have another outbreak, then you're gonna be behind the eight ball. So be very careful. Now is the time to really look at your business model, see what opportunities you have, what revenue streams can you tap into, whether online or offline, and then be able to generate that revenue through those efforts. And if you're very proactive and purposeful of what you're trying to do, then you're going to be able to reach that goal a lot better.
So let me wrap a couple of questions in kind of together here. How much revenue should a med spa or spa generate in memberships? And then what's the most popular membership program?
Mm-hmm. So to answer the first question, how much revenue? So what we teach is you should have enough revenue coming in from reoccurring revenue to take you to your break-even point. So what I would want you to do is go in, add up all your expenses, or go into your QuickBooks, or you talk to your accountant or bookkeeper and come up with all your expenses. How much does it cost you to run your business a month? So let's say it takes you $100,000 to run your business a month, or 50, or whatever that amount is, or 10. Well, whatever that number is, you should have at least that many members giving you enough revenue every month to be able to overcome any expenses that may be coming in. So membership revenue, at least expenses. And if you do that, just imagine at the beginning of each month or during the month, you have enough money coming in to pay all your bills. And then the rest is all gravy. And all the new sales that come in after that point is all opportunity for you to grow. And if you set it up that way, you're going to be just so much better off. And whatever little bump or lump comes your way, you have at least some security to know that you can continue to pay your bills.
Great. And then what's the most popular membership programs?
So, well, that's a big undertaking to actually develop one. And you have to be smart about what you develop. And sometimes what people do when they're trying to develop a VIP program is they try to be cheap. Actually, let me back up a little bit. Like what made memberships very famous in our world of industry here was Massage and Bay and Hand and Stone. And they developed this great business model. The reason they're so successful, by the way, is because they had a reoccurring revenue model, and then they had a good compensation model for the team. And they generated that initial flow for people coming in, doing a trial, and then signing them up for a membership. They knew that the numbers will end up adding up. But what happens now is everybody tries to kind of do a membership like that. Well, I'm not into that. I'm not into explaining somebody, oh, go create a membership like that. So we just came up actually with an entire philosophy of how to set up the entire VIP program and do it in a way where it is super, super customizable for your clients, because that's what it's going to come up to. The more customized the program is, the more benefits the consumer is going to get, and the more they're going to stay with you. But if we just do, oh, give me $99 a month and come in and get this facial. Give me $100 whatever dollars and come and get this body treatment. That's just, it doesn't work anymore. Right. I mean, that's what everybody else does. That's not what being innovative and being adaptable to what people need right now and implement something that's going to be very good for you. As a matter of fact, I just did a featured article, by the way. Today is the 1st. Our newsletter goes out on the 1st. So I did a featured article on innovation, adaptation, and implementation. And I wrote this article for you to show you that even now you can be successful. Even now you could be generating revenue, and don't let anything stop in your way. So now is the time to take a look at your VIP program, see what's working, what's not. And I have to tell you, the other thing I got my members to do, all mastermind members to do, is to think higher, to charge more, to be able to offer more. Why should you be at the $100? Like, what is $100? That's not going to help you. So you need to be up in the $300 and the $500 a month brackets. And if you stretch your mind to thinking higher, that you can actually make more money because your clients want more, especially in the Medi-Spa arena, you guys. What's $500 a month for a medical spa? It's like nothing. What can you get? What can you get? Now, for day spa friends out there, you can still be in a couple $100 a month brackets, $300 a month, because you can still need a lot of things to get done, right? So those are all things that are just so important to really do and take care of when you're creating that VIP program.
It also gives their clients, they can't compare apples and oranges because other people are not doing what you're teaching. And so they can't say, well, that med spa is doing this. Can you price match that? Because they can't.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's really nice.
It definitely gives you differentiation. And that's really what it's all about now, is if you don't stick out and show that you're different. And that's something that we're really focused on teaching all of our community members and VIP members and mastermind members. It is so important right now to be relevant, to make an impact, a positive impact, and to adapt, to be flexible, to make changes. If you're rigid right now, or if you're just stiff and not flexible, you're gonna vanish. You have to be careful. Now is the time to innovate, adapt, and implement. Definitely now is the time.
So in the whole innovation, adapting, and implementing, I think this kind of takes us right into actual part 4, and we're gonna start off with our team. So chapter 11 was all about creating a high-performing guest relations team. So with that being said, do you wanna kind of just give us a little overview of the high-performing guest relations department?
Well, so there are several departments in your business, right? But the one we're gonna focus on now is the guest relations. But it truly takes a team to really run a successful business. And every single person on that team needs to be all in. They have to buy in on what you're trying to do. And I think that's probably one of the biggest mistakes I see, is that most leaders don't really share their vision of what it is that they're trying to do. And well, even first of all, is them knowing what it is that they want to do.
Right.
So having that clear vision and then sharing that vision with the team, gaining the buy-in from the team, and then go and implement. But that's really one of probably the most struggles, because everybody just comes, does their thing, and then they leave. They're not really united. They're not going after one goal. So that's one thing. The other thing is the way people hire often is not very good. Sometimes they hire out of desperation instead of planning the hiring process and actually selecting the right talent for your place. So hiring is very, very important. It really starts there. If you want to have a good team, it starts truly with the hiring process. And if you take your time, as a matter of fact, the Clarity hiring system is the system that we teach to recruit, hire, and train the proper team. So if you take those things into effect, and whether you're opening or whether you have a team already, if you're opening, then you're ahead of the game. You're gonna avoid mistakes if you do what we're telling you to do, and if you use the Clarity hiring system. Where if you're already open and you already have a team, then you definitely want to relaunch some things that you want to do. But either way, having a good team is your recipe for success. Because if you're just all alone, and I'm going to talk for people who don't, maybe you don't have a team, I don't know. But if you don't have a team, that means you're limiting your growth. You're not going to be able to grow past a certain point if you're going to be the lonely ranger. But if nothing else, you have to at least hire that one guest relations person. So even if you're a solopreneur, you're a doctor doing your thing, you're a nurse practitioner doing your thing, esthetician, whoever, you have got to have that one person to answer your phone, to exchange money, to do the things that you don't want to do, or nor should you do. Like, you should never be taking money away from people. Somebody should be handling that for you. So that's where I would start, really, is by that guest relations team, and make sure you have at least one person to help you.
So Priscilla had asked a great question, because the guest relations is key, right? That's the voice of your company when the phone's ringing. And so she wanted to know, what kind of characteristics and talent should she be looking for that position?
That's a very good question.
That's a great question.
That's a very good question. I might be sending this product towards you. Yeah, I think for the guest relations team, you want a kind of person that, first of all, they look the part. Mm-hmm. They have to have beautiful skin. They have to wear their makeup properly, unless it's a guy, of course. But then guys are wearing makeup now too. Yeah. They have to have nice nails. They have to be well groomed. They have to be able to communicate. They have to be fun and warm and fuzzy. That's the kind of person that you really want there. So that's from an appearance and an image standpoint. Now, in addition to image, then now we're talking about skills, right, which are very, very important. And the skills have to be from the ability to deliver a message in a nice, smiley way, to actually asking for the appointment and knowing how to present the consultations, how to ask for a credit card, not be afraid to ask, be able to work on a computer or software system and catch on quickly so they can make appointments fast, handle these phone calls, be able to make recommendations. So there's a lot that goes into it. Actually, in the employee manual, we actually have position descriptions for every single position in your place. And before you hire anyone, you should really do the position descriptions for every single position, not just the guest relations, and outline all the things that you definitely need to let them know what you're looking for and what you can give them in return for having this position.
I mean, that also weeds out, because one of the most expensive things are hiring people. I mean, that gets very costly to keep. And so when they already know what to expect of their position, it's a lot easier. I mean, we have so many people that are using the position description for their resumes and things like that. Our members cannot get away without doing it.
Yeah. So it's very important. And then you need to let them know how you're going to reward them. And then the compensation for this is just so important. That's another thing. I'm sure we have some questions probably about compensation, because that's what everybody always wants to know. Okay, I hired this person, so now how do I pay them? Or people tell me, oh, well, if you need a highly talented person, then you have to pay them a lot of money. You know, how do you do that? Right. So it all has to be planned out.
And it does. It's not just I mean, we have people that have called our office and like, hey, I have an interview tomorrow with the guest relations. How much should I pay them? And it's like, we should have thought about that weeks ago when we were putting the application out. Yeah. Because we need to know that. So let me ask you this. What are some of the biggest mistakes you see business owners making when hiring this position?
I have to say, one of the biggest problems is hiring college students, young people. It's like asking for a divorce. Why would you hire someone And believe me, I have nothing against college students. My son just graduated from college, so I get it. It's important to have young people and give them opportunities. I'm all about that. But don't have your entire team be college students. Then, like, as soon as they graduate, they're gone, or they have an exam to study for, or they're young and immature. Maybe they're not the kind of person that you really want to be able to deal with your high affluent people that are going to give you thousands and thousands of dollars. So to me, the guest relations department is one of the most important positions in your place. And it's truly a director's position. It's somebody who is managing your entire flow. So the entire team needs to be career-minded people, people who are eager to grow with the company. As a matter of fact, guest relations are a great place for you to move people up in your company as far as a career path. They can become guest relations team leads. Then they can become a spa or a medi-spa lead. Then they can become a supervisor. Then they can become a manager. Then they can become your director. So it's the place that will help you grow. But if you just hire someone who's not looking at this as a career, you're only asking for a heartbreak. And replacing people, like Tara was just saying, it's so costly. It costs you about 25% of the person's salary to replace them. So don't make that mistake. Take your time and find the right person.
So John has a question here from Zoom. She said, if you're a solopreneur, how do you feel about having the guest relations person turn the room and get set up for the next client while you're finishing up front with the client? That is where my clients buy the most products, ask the most questions, etc. My clients know me, they like me, they trust me.
Mm-hmm. Well, she can still complete. Thank you for your question, Dawn. You can still complete that experience by you going to the front, but let your guest relations handle the money. Then she can go and actually change your room over. I just think from a positioning standpoint, anytime you put yourself with the money receiving part, it just changes your positioning a little bit. So imagine this. You're talking to your client about all the great products that they're going to have, and you line them all up. And then you go to Tara, who's my guest relations, and say, Tara, these are all the things that Dori wants to take home with her today. So please go ahead and take great care of her. And now Tara is going to say, I'm so happy that you really enjoyed your experience today. And let's go ahead and take care of this. First, I need to reserve your next appointment. And then I'll go ahead and take care of all these products. So I see that you're here today at 2 o'clock on a Friday. How about 3 weeks from now, Friday at 2 o'clock? That. I'm going to do that. And then the total for today is between the treatments, the products, the upgrade, and everything else is $565. Now I have a credit card on file ending with 1000. I'll go ahead and use that credit card if you like.
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you so much, Tara. And boom, they're processed. But see, we just changed the positioning of Dawn. She's no longer, the worker. She did the facial, come out, did the products, and then she's processing the sale. So it's going to be much better if she handles that for you.
Well, that, and then you don't get into the part where Dawn kind of is like, well, they like me, they trust me, and then they become friends with you, and they're like, oh, Dawn, do you mind giving me a discount today?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they think they're friends that way.
Yeah. So that would be, very important. Yeah. But you should really have somebody, and then they can become your little personal assistant too. Mm-hmm. So they can do your room turnover. They can maybe, you can discuss how you can post things maybe on social media. They can do some of that for you. They can make follow-up phone calls. They can call up people that they have not been in a while. So that person should more than pay for themselves. That's the part that drives me crazy, is people think that they can't afford to hire a guest relations member. You can't afford not to have one, because that person should be helping you generate revenue. They're like your salesperson, your director, your manager. They can be your right-hand person to really help you. And if you don't do that, then you're trying to wear all these hats, and it's draining and it's depleting, and it's just makes you keep running on that hamster wheel. It's like, no,
Well, it's
no,
also,
you deserve better. You deserve better.
it's also a good time because we've already talked about the website working for you. So you have all these online leads coming in. If
Mhm.
Dawn is waiting until the end of the day to check all these leads and then she's trying to hunt the clients down, she's missing that opportunity.
Exactly.
So that's what our guest relations is doing during the day.
For sure.
There's a lot of stuff they can be doing.
Yeah. And then the other tip I want to give you real quick for the talent someone was asking. I'm sorry, I don't remember her name, but somebody was asking about the talent. Where do you get them from, or where do you find such people? I have to tell you, the best place to go recruit guest relations representatives is, well, we can't go now because the malls are closed, but the mall usually is the best place to go. I would go into like the Lancôme counter, Estee Lauder, Chanel, whatever, and observe and see who's the person that's talking to people, stopping people, smiley, happy. I'm gonna go up to that person and buy a lipstick or a mascara or something, and then I'm gonna do my card and my famous signature statement. I'm looking for someone just like you. That's how you go out recruiting. I'm looking for someone just like you. Here's my card. If you or someone you know would like to be considered for a position in my business, in my med spa or spa, please pass this card on to them, or if that's you,
Right.
you can give me a call. But if we're not out recruiting like this, but what most people try to do is they try to hire an esthetician or a therapist of some sort, and all of a sudden, let's give her as many hats as possible. I want you to do facials. I want you to answer the phone. I want you to do the laundry. I want you to go take
Clean
my clothes to the
floor.
dry cleaners, wash my car. Let me give you all these hats, and then we expect them to do a good job.
Well, and then when something gets missed, it's like, oh, did you post on Facebook for this today? And they're like, it's hard.
Yeah.
Like when you're wearing so many hats, something gets shifted a little.
Yeah.
So Dawn said thanks. She really appreciated the role play, and she's going to implement it immediately. She
I'm
loved
glad.
it.
Yeah, it's time to grow. It's time to scale. As a matter of fact, now is the time to really look around you. And I bet you anything, there's a lot of people, if they did not have a good business structure, there's going to be a lot of people going out of business. I mean, this is like, we're a month and a half into this chaos, and you'll see. And actually, people like Dawn or other people that are joining us, this might be a very good opportunity for you to be able to find who are these businesses that are going to go out of business,
Right.
and go get their email list. That would be my advice to you. Because if they're going to have to close, they have to close. So just keep an eye on things. And if they close, I mean, it's unfortunate for them, but hey, it is what it is. And it's your opportunity to contact them. As a matter of fact, I just did this on a call with a private coaching member of ours. She found out about a spa next to her that closed. So we set up a meeting. She's called them, and she's going to ask for the list and pay her a certain amount. And a good approach, this is off topic here a little bit, but it's very important information for you. Usually when people go out of business, they have gift cards that are outstanding because they're a liability, right? So they still have to fulfill all these people, or else they're gonna come back and get you. So your approach would be to contact this person. Let's say Tara, I'll call her up and say, listen, I understand you're having some difficult time. I'm so sorry to hear that. I would like to help. I'm sure you have some gift cards that are outstanding, that are a liability for you right now. Why don't we do this? Give me a list of those people, and I'll be able to help them redeem like a percentage of whatever the gift card is. And then you can give me your email list. So that way, instead of ruining your reputation, I can be the savior, right? I'm helping her. And then I'll be able to get that email list. Because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, what is the most important thing to you? It's that list. That the database is the most important thing because that means money. So keep an eye out, see what's going on in your area. And then if you need some help with the approach and how to handle things like that, we'll be happy to help. But yeah, there are going to be a lot of great opportunities for the people that have, some extra money right now.
So we kind of started talking about the team a little a few questions ago. So it kind of really takes us into chapter 12, which is all about our team and coaching, which is one of my favorite topics. So as you mentioned earlier in one of the gatherings, you try to wear so many hats. How do you not wear so many hats but still get your team trained properly? I mean, that's a hard thing to overcome.
Yeah, I have to say, being an entrepreneur, being a business owner is tough. And if you don't have the proper structure in place, it makes it even tougher. And, having a team takes some of that pressure off if they're the right team. Or they could be causing anxiety if they're not the right team. Like we had one of our members complaining the other day on one of our calls. She's like, well, I have an esthetician sitting at home doing absolutely nothing. Like, why is she at home doing nothing? She should be doing online consultations. She should be reaching out to her clients, calling them. She should not be at home doing nothing. But see, again, that tells you that we don't have a united vision of what we're trying to accomplish. And coaching the team, I like to relate that to sports, really. You have basketball, football, hockey, you name it, baseball. What do you think? These are supposedly pros, right? Earning millions of dollars. But what do they go through every season? What do they go through? Boot camp, training, coaching, watching plays, coming up with new game plans, practicing. That's what it takes. So if you don't make that a priority in your business, then you're not going to be able to succeed. Like I know you could succeed if you spend the time training them. If you don't have time for training, that's like saying to yourself, oh, I don't have time to eat, so I'm not going to eat. Well, what's going to happen to you if you don't eat? You're going to die. Well, it's really the same analogy. The team will die on a vine if you don't take the time to train them. And that is a priority for sure. So schedule the time to make training part of your culture. It will be very important for you.
Even if you're doing the same thing in football, they watch the same recording over until it's like engraved in their brain of how that play is going to happen.
Absolutely.
I mean,
they visualize it.
Right.
And they practice
you just imagine seeing Tom Brady come in and be like, I've already watched that twice.
Yeah,
I don't feel like watching it today.
And that's what team members say.
And this person's going to look at him and be like, I don't care if you've watched 100, you're going to watch it again.
Or they say, they'll say, oh, go watch Dori's guest relations program. I've already watched it. Well, go watch it again. Actually, I had a client up in the Northeast in New Hampshire, Rhonda, and she would tell her people this. She's like, have you studied the Pride system yet? And they're like, well, yeah. Do you sound like Dori yet? Well, no. Then go watch it again until you sound like Dori.
And we have it, on our mastermind calls. I'm joining with you live every day, and you hear, like, I'm constantly catching our members, and they're starting to sound like Dori. And I'm like, oh, I know she's watched that at least 6 times. And it's true. You really can pick the people that are catching on, right?
Yes, makes a big difference. But no, training can be made easier, though, if you have the tools.
Right.
If you don't have the tools, then you're really trying to reinvent the wheel. And reinventing the wheel, I'm sorry, that's just stupid. It really is. I just want to be frank.
Well,
it's like, why would you want to do that?
Right.
I don't get it.
So that kind of leads me into Kim's question here. Kim said, how do I come up with material for training? Is there a way that I can tap into online tools, resources, so that I'm not sitting here reinventing the wheel?
Yeah. Actually, you know, as far as tools, that's a scary thing today. Like anybody who's anybody thinks that they can put products out and say that they're a consultant, or, oh, you know, I can help you with this and that. You have to be very careful, first of all, who you listen to. And second of all, do they have proven effective systems and tools to actually help you? So there are lots of resources. God knows there are, but like you have to kind of figure out, who do you trust? Who should you go to for help? And the first advice I would give you is to really, first of all, decide who you're going to listen to. And then once you figure out, okay, they are credible, they know what they're doing, they have proven effective systems and structures, then you need to look and see what resources are available and go see what people are saying about their programs. And once you figure that out, I mean, we've been at this for 20 years. This is my second professional career, and I'm about to retire, hopefully, in about 5 years. She keeps wanting me to work, but I'm trying to exit in 3 years and be done. But if you don't do all this work, then you're just going to be left behind. It's just not going to be very effective. But you have to plan. You have to plan for what it is that you really want, and then go find those resources to help you. But for the past 20 years, I mean, we've been coming up with this whole business model. And I mean, we have so many success stories from people that have taken all the strategies, like even just all the strategies in this book. If you just dive into it in depth, oh my gosh, it's like, there's no reason why you can't make multiple 7 figures. There really isn't a reason. But yeah, we have lots of resources. If you go to our shop, I mean, we have everything you can imagine for every department. There's manuals, there's audios, there's webinars, there are forms, tools, you name it. Definitely to help you.
And the nice thing about our tools is, even though she's thinking about retiring in 5 years, the systems, whether it's 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, the systems will still be the same because it's the foundation of their place. So whether she's retired and you see a 3D of Dori somewhere, you can still go through the Pride. You can still go through the Clarity hiring, because that's not going to change.
Yes.
The foundation isn't.
Actually, we keep modifying. I mean, that's the thing, is you have to keep updating. And I'm constantly updating and improving. It's like, it's never ending, you know. Like our mastermind members the other day were like, oh, your head must be hurting coming up with all this innovative stuff. I'm like, yes, my brain is hurting me. And this week I have to work on how to do a referral campaign and launch all that. So I'll be working this weekend. I'm working more now than ever. It's like, I want to retire. I need a vacation.
It's like, I keep getting this picture of Dori, just like a little bobblehead with all the brains that are just shaking out because you have so much going on. And here I'm always thinking, as she keeps saying she's wanting to retire, and I'm like, who's the next Dori coming up?
So as if we're not too busy, we have to go to our office tomorrow. We're actually remodeling. Thank God I own our building, and it's such a nice, I love our building.
Me too.
So nice.
It's like home away from home.
You guys have to come over and visit us one day. It's so beautiful. Our address is Executive Circle, and it's in this very like a tropical circle of all office buildings. Very, very nice. And I want to build a nicer studio. Like, we have a studio in my office now, but it's like, So we're expanding one section of the office to have this amazing studio that we're building, so we can come like this in a very nice environment and keep sharing with you guys. So she was happy, because I'm always saying I'm moving, and she's like, oh, I guess you'll be here for the next 3 years. Like, why would I want to move? Look at this. Isn't this amazing? I mean, like, I woke up this morning, you guys, and it was the most beautiful sunrise. It was just breathtaking. I probably have more pictures of sunrises on my phone than anything else.
Yeah. So you guys are all going crazy on Zoom. Don't worry, Dori is not getting on a plane and leaving us. Like she's got sand in her shoes, so she's staying here. She is not. They're like, oh my God, Dori's planning her exit plan in 3 years. What are we gonna do?
I'm gonna go see Thalia in Boquete, Panama.
Or you could go to Malaysia and see Norlisa. Norlisa's like,
true.
hi, Dori, just so you know, it's 6:15 here in Malaysia.
I know.
That's
she's
dedication.
amazing.
She's
I
been
know
on
she is.
every
I know.
book gathering.
I
2
know.
o'clock, I'm sorry, it's
Oh.
2 o'clock in the morning. 2
yeah.
a.m.
Yeah.
So
And I love Malaysia. We were talking about it not too long ago.
you actually have a book right here on your shelf
I do.
saying Over Malaysia.
Yeah.
And I noticed that the other day.
Actually, that's what I do is I collect books from all the beautiful places that I've been. I have to show her this because I don't know if she believes this or not. But here, look, Over Malaysia. Over Malaysia. I'm going to show you. So that's where I was, and it was so much fun. I actually was in, these are the tallest 2 buildings there, and I actually went all the way up. It was so nice, yeah. But I collect table books from all the countries, and in my place, you will see books literally from all over the world. I love it. But yeah, it's fun. It's so much fun.
So then let's talk about chapter 13. I mean, we've just been talking about the team, which again is the most key thing about your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So chapter 13, we're talking about motivating the team. Because I mean, it does take motivation to keep them moving and not get stale.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Thank God I don't have to motivate you.
No.
Tara comes already motivated. Tara can do everything.
Well,
We're gonna go move things around in the office tomorrow so the demolition team can come and start on Monday.
it was so funny. Dori was at the office with the demolition team and they're like, well, how do we do this? Where do we get that? And she's like, hold on a minute. Let me just call Tara. She calls me on my cell phone. She's like, how do we do this? Where do we go for
Where
that?
do we get a dumpster from?
Yeah. She's like, where do we get a dumpster? And I'm like, okay, I know. I'll take care of it. So motivating the team.
Yes.
We're always there, always motivated. How do I motivate? And they should have known by now in chapter 4 that we don't use this dirty little word, but Kathy wanted to know, how do I motivate the staff?
Yeah.
That's
you fire the staff.
Right. We get rid of our staff and we're motivating our team.
Yeah. So yeah, stop using that word, staff. So motivation, that's a big thing. And there's been so many different philosophical things mentioned about motivation, whether it's intrinsic or extrinsic. Can you really motivate people? I mean, can you motivate them with funds? Can you motivate them with bribes or things that make them happy? You know, you can try all these things, and you should probably have those things as part of your compensation model, having some rewards. We talked about key performance indicators. We talked about recognition meetings, things like that. I mean, that's all fine and dandy, but I have to tell you, at the end of the day, I don't have to motivate Tara. So if you hire the right kind of person, you don't have to worry about that, because they have to have that burning desire inside to do well, to do their job, to fulfill their professional obligation. And that comes naturally. And if it doesn't, then you're in that constant movement of trying to motivate. And believe me, that gets draining after a while. It's tough. But instead, if you hire the right person to begin with, and like I would call Tara and say, okay, you know what? I'm thinking about doing this. And then she just like goes and runs with it. And that's the kind of person that you want. Now, is everybody on our team like that? For the most part. But are there some people that we have to like motivate and give a little shove to every now and then? Yes. But it's better to have the majority of your team that are self-motivated, self-driven, with burning desire to want to do the work. That's a lot easier than having to continually motivate people. But you can do it. There are a bunch of things that I talk about in here that you can do to motivate the team.
And sometimes it comes into investing in them, right?
No,
I
for
think
sure.
one of the things for the team, at least for me as a team member, you're constantly investing into our career, our company, and that's nice because I don't see, oh, well, when if Dori retires in 4 years, what happens to me? I don't have that worry because you're constantly investing in it, and we can see it happening forever, long term. And so that's always a key factor as well.
Yeah. There's been many surveys too done on motivation, and a lot of entrepreneurs think that money motivates people, but actually in all reality, being included and being part of the team and being considered is more important than financial rewards. And even the financial rewards, they don't have to be, I should say, even the rewards don't all have to be financial driven. They could be other kind of rewards that you can give people, just unexpected rewards. Like I would just go get her something, right? Or we would be out shopping.
I love it. Like purses or shoes, like that means like so much more to me. Because and Dori knows me very well. If you gave me money, I'd go pay a bill, or I wouldn't go buy something for myself, right? Or I'd spend it on somebody else. So for someone to actually see, wait, let me do something for her, it's a lot different, and it means so much more.
Yeah.
Every time, and I'm like, no, I don't, but you do it, and it's like, it's nice.
You have to take care of the people. Like I've helped team members buy tires. I've helped them put a down payment on a car. I've helped pay for air conditioners.
Dori has paid last month's rent for people.
Yeah, you have to give, but you want to get in return. Actually, that reminds me of that person. That's so funny. Yeah, that was not a good ending.
And sometimes I'm like, don't do it.
Sometimes I'm too nice and I get screwed.
She does. I'm like, don't do it. But when you have someone like you, and I could sit here and say, don't do it, Dori, but you're going to do it because that's how you are.
You have to help people.
And then you get blessed in return, right?
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
You're helping others.
You have to really be there for your team, I think. And if you're not, and if you don't really get to that emotional side and get that connection with them and ask them how they're doing and what you can do to help them, it makes a big difference. And again, that goes back to that team culture that you try to build. Like there's not one person on my team that doesn't know that they can come and ask me for something if they need it, and I'll be there for them. And I think if you have that connection, then and I don't have a small team. We're talking, we have 14 people like before we close down, so that's a good sized team. And to be able to be that for them, that's part of my obligation as an entrepreneur, is to be able to provide. I feel like they're more my family rather than my employees. They're like my kids, right? And I want to make sure that my kids are taken care of. So that goes full circle in what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish. And I learned that. And again, believe me, I can be a big pain in the what too. Like I'm not easy sometimes, being honest. And she'll tell you that too. I don't care. Yeah. But that's because I expect so much of myself and my performance. Therefore, I expect that from my team around me. And that makes a big difference. Right. So when you have high expectations and you carry that on, then the team is going to come around. But if you do it without the love behind it, then that's when you get in trouble sometimes. So you have to be very careful with expectations, providing the training that is needed, and then the rewards that come with it. So it all comes full circle. But truly, it goes back to that hiring process.
So if they're a client already or already open on a med spa, Lisa's asking, and I love this question because it happens and we've seen it. I mean, we have testimonials of it. They're open, they have that unmotivated team. What do they do?
Yeah.
I mean, because sometimes it's in that situation. I mean, Lisa can sit here and say the things over and over and over, but if they're already unmotivated, how do you get them out of that mindset?
Yeah. So we actually came up with a program for that. It's called the Fresh Start. And let me tell you, it's like going into intensive care. Imagine going on property, on location. And I'm going in most of the time to either change compensation models, do training, change the culture, change the philosophy, pass out new position descriptions, all these things. So you really, truly need a whole relaunch. And part of the relaunch is passing out a new commitment agreement and position descriptions for the team. You need to have a team meeting, and then you need to tell them the new vision and new direction you want to take the company. And when you do that, and then you pass out all this information, and you get them to buy in and agree to be part of this team now that's going forward and that's being expected to perform differently or behave differently or communicate differently. When you do that, then you're going to have a plan on how we're going to continue whatever it is that we started today. So it is fixable. Don't think that because your team is unmotivated now, it doesn't mean that they can't switch. You need to really sit down and talk, communicate on what is going on and where you really want to take your business. And when you do that and you get that recommitment, you're going to find out, because you're going to ask them, I want you to go home tonight. I want you to read this. Think about it. And I want you to sign it only if you're committing to buying in on all the things that we want to do. Or we've done it where we've actually re-interviewed people for their position. So those are two things that you can do depending on how infectious the team is. I mean, whether you have cancer or you could just have a stomach ache. So, but if you need like chemotherapy because they're so bad, then
well, it's like flatlining and we're getting ready to do CPR and we're just going to shock them back to life a little.
And sometimes it's like you have to get rid of people, and it takes a courageous leader to actually do that. But you really need to know when to like cut the losses and move on. As a matter of fact, now is a good time. Right now, the shakeup is happening. So we're even feeling it. We have a couple of team members that are making more money with unemployment now because we had to like cut half of our team with this chaos. And there's a couple of them that don't want to come back now because they're making more money on unemployment than they are getting paid. So they're like, okay, fine, I don't want to come back. So this is a good time to shake out the bad people and to recruit, because there's a lot of people looking for work. Now is the time to also recruit for new talent. So be on the lookout. I'm telling you, this is a good time for you. If you guys are in good shape right now, this is a very good time for you. You should be positive, you should be excited, and you need to be looking at opportunities that you have right now.
It's like the Earth's natural way of just kind of putting us in a shaker and seeing who's going to fall through and not be a part of your team, and then who's going to stick and be part of the sand that's staying. So, And one of the things I have to say about the Fresh Start, I've seen you go to so many places on the Fresh Start, and then they call the office and they're like, why didn't I do this sooner? Because it's like a light bulb having you present to their team versus them trying to do it. Because it's hard for them as an owner. They're whether they're a doctor, they're in the room, they don't really have all of that. So having you or our team of business advisors come on and do that is a big difference. And you can get that recommitment, and then from an outsider's view, you can say, hey, we don't have that commitment. You know, we've got to, because unfortunately we have seen some situations, and like you said, it takes a strong person. I mean, we had someone from, Lacey. Lacey replayed her entire team. She has an entire brand new team, but she was in tears.
She had a staff.
She did. And she was in tears, constantly calling you and thanking you for now, because Lacey has one of the most amazing teams, and she doesn't even have to go there.
She has a team now.
Right. Now she does. She has, and she's always grateful.
Yeah. Actually, you can go listen to her story. It's on YouTube. And if you have not subscribed to YouTube yet, you should go to our YouTube channel. But you can go under the Raving Fans and you can listen to Lacey. She owns Apple Day Spa in Wisconsin. And it's amazing. You'll hear exactly the transformation that we had to go through, because she had a big team too. She had a total, I think, of 18. It was a day spa wellness center. 18 independent contractors. That's what she had. So it was the wild, wild west. It was horrible. They did not respect her, did not do what they needed to do. They came and left as they pleased. She paid them a ton of money, and they were just like a bunch of spoiled, rotten little kids that we had to go and basically just literally let everybody go and start fresh. That's how bad it was. Yeah, but now they do respect her. Now she has a team. Now she's growing. It's a total transformation.
Yeah. So I have a question. John is asking here.
We need to give something away.
I know. Let me ask Don's question here real fast. Have you seen a shift in the recent years of training people and then having them leave and go out on their own? And her reference is in more to like injectors, licensed professionals. She said they're starting to use their own social media.
Yeah.
It's getting harder and harder for them to build a loyal team.
Yeah, that's a big problem, but it's not going to stop you from building it.
Right.
Because you still have to have a team. Is that going to happen? It might. I mean, we see it happen, but you can't stop not training. You can't not train the team because of fear that they might go. I have a saying about that, as a matter of fact. What if I train my team and they go? And then my statement is, imagine not training them and them staying. So what do? You still have to train. But if you create an environment where they want to stay with you and you're taking care of them and you're doing whether it's profit sharing, benefits, perks, things to keep them with you rather than them going looking for other work. Those are all opportunities for you to make sure that this turned off totally. Our Facebook.
Right at the hour, so
yeah, probably that's what it is. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, those are the things that definitely would be very important.
Well, I think sometimes they get bored, right? Like, I know for a fact, I could never even imagine going out and saying, oh, I'm now going to go be a coach and teach what I've learned from you, because I have the opportunity to keep moving within our own company. And people that have that discerning desire, like myself, if they don't have that able to fulfill that career path, then that's when they go out on their own, right? Yeah. Like you said, your guest relations, if they want to be a lead and you have that opportunity, let them be a leader.
So you have to chart the career path for people. So the motivated ones, because not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. I mean, it just doesn't, it's a lot of work. It's hard. And the more transparent you are and you showing them that it's not like you're making all that money and you're not, trying to help them too. But it takes that whole unity. And again, from the hiring process, when you ask someone, what are your career goals? And if they tell you in the interview, I want to have my own business, am I going to hire that person? Hell no, I'm not going to hire that person. So be careful. That's why that interview process is so key. And you have to really ask the right questions. You have to get that commitment agreement out. You have to get the position description out. You have to get the compensation model that you're going to pay them and agree on that position offer and what it really means to be part of this team. And the more you do that, the more effective you're going to be. But have no fear. I would definitely not stop training because I think someone is going to go work somewhere else. That's a compliment to you. I have consultants coming to my training classes. Right. I mean, what do? I had somebody one time, they were writing so fast, I didn't know who they were actually. So I'm standing there, I'm at a conference and I'm standing there speaking. And I noticed this person sitting in the corner and she was just like writing like crazy. So after the speaking was over, I walked up and started talking to her. I'm like, oh, I'm so impressed. You were taking so many notes. You know, you must be just doing so well. And she's like, oh, well, I'm actually a consultant. I'm like, well, fudge you. Get the fudge out of my classroom. What the hell are you doing here?
Wow.
But that happens all the time. People copy and people use your material, but you just have to keep innovating. You have to keep getting better and better and better, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Well, it pushes you to be better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's give something away.
I think we should.
Yeah.
So.
All right, you guys. So next week, again, we're going, while she's selecting a winner, next week we're going to do the bonus and then any other questions you might have. And next week I'll also be introducing the new book gathering we're going to do. You're going to love it. It's one of my favorite books ever. It has changed my life. No, it's not one of my books. But it has made such a difference on my life, and I'm going to be sharing with you some stories on how it actually changed my life. And it's a book that I actually read every single year. It's a book that I practice, I use all the time, and you're going to love it. I'm not going to tell you what it is this week, so you have to come back next week and find out.
I actually know what it is. If I didn't know it, we'd be concerned a little.
That's right, you'll be in trouble.
She hasn't even announced what it is, and I already know what her favorite book is.
Oh, see, she knows me too well. All right, so who's that? So what I'm going to give away is the guest relations. So in the guest relations, we focus on the 3 C's. Call management, the check-in and the check-out, and we teach your team exactly what they need to be doing. So please go leave us a review before I announce the winner here. We would love to hear from you, and pick the winner next week for the Leap Ahead seminar.
Right. So today Dawn was so engaged and she asked like 7 different questions all about the guest relations. So I think today we're going to give the drawing for the guest relations to Dawn.
Oh my gosh, lucky you. So that would be a wonderful thing. So you get a link to download it, and that way you can set up that person you're going to hire for success.
And Dawn just secretly sent a question with the title she thinks that you're going to be talking about next month. Yes.
Oh, she knows me too.
She knows you too. So,
all right, you guys, this has been so much fun. I have a great webinar next week. Actually, I have 2 great webinars coming up that you definitely want to attend. The one next week is with Stephen Handyside. He is the founder of GBUS, which is a virtual online conference for like aesthetics. It's an amazing thing that he did last year. Actually, I was speaking at that conference last year virtually, and what timing he had and what innovation, because he did this last year and this is his 2nd year doing this virtual conference. But we're going to be talking about the 3 words I discussed with you earlier: innovation, adaptation, and implementation. And what a great person to come and share that webinar with me. So mark your calendar for that. It's going to be Wednesday at 1 o'clock, I think. And then the following week, I have a very special guest for you. You definitely need to come to this webinar. It's going to be on how to gain followers and convert them into clients. I have one of our mastermind members who's an Instagram superstar that's going to be coming, Shelby Miller. And she has a place in Utah. Just by herself last year, she did $1.8 million in revenue, and she has over 85,000 followers on Instagram. So you definitely want to come to these 2 webinars. Now you can
Monday, May 11th.
Monday, May 11th, if you'd like to come. Now those are great webinars. They're all being housed on globalmedspa-association.com. You can go there, you can join to become a member. It's complimentary now. And it's a site that we're building and developing right now. Actually, it's it started all during this period. So, but you can go there and you get to watch actually all the webinars that we've done. We've done over 40 webinars. If you combine the public webinars and the member webinars, we've done over 40 webinars in a month and a half. So needless to say, we've been busy, we've been innovating, adapting, and implementing. We practice what we preach. So go on Amazon, leave us that great review, or Google, and I will see you guys next week, and we'll announce our winner for the Leap Ahead, and we'll announce the next book we'll be sharing together.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend. Stay safe, and until next time, stay inspired. Bye, everyone. God bless. Take care. Bye.